enormous velocity.
Higher.
Thank you.
Knowledge far in advance of our own.
That's a smart thing.
Contact is established. We now transmit you direct.
Item 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
I'm like, how do we usually start? Do we usually
I don't
start
know.
with the intro, or do we usually just be talking?
Well,
I thought we were
usually,
talking.
yeah, usually we talk because we're trying to warm each other up to it, and then we're like, all right, let's get to it.
But yeah, Netflix.
Mhm.
I don't know. All these other like streaming services are probably like, what the heck? How are they able to do this? Because during this whole quarantine,
Mhm.
they have steadily been putting out new content.
Yeah, I know.
Everything else has been halted because they can't film anything. So it's like, dang, Netflix had a lot of stuff being filmed.
Yeah, they sure did.
at the same time.
They like reached into
A
like
lot.
the fucking what is it? The emergency jar. Like, here you go, guys. You need some content.
Yeah,
Here
everything is
you
coming out.
go.
Because it's like they've been having movie after movie,
Mhm.
shows, like, because I'm like, this is new, and then the Umbrella Academy is gonna be coming. Like,
Oh,
they've been
really?
having, yeah, season 2, they've been having a lot of news content coming out.
Oh shit, that's crazy. I didn't I've been noticing that they have a lot of stuff on there, but I wasn't thinking that there was gonna be a lot more coming out. You know?
Yeah, all of this stuff has been coming out. A lot of new stuff because they've had a couple of movies, they've had several shows. Cause like Waco, that was new. When I watched that show, that was new.
Yeah, but that was pre all
they-
close downs, you know?
Huh?
That was like before all the close downs, you know?
No, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm
you're
saying they
right.
must have had a lot of stuff recording at this, like filming at the same time, in various places for them to still be able to have all this stuff come out. So that means everything must have been pretty much ready for post production for
Mhm.
them to have this much content. Because like, okay, Disney Plus, they have all like the Marvel shows specifically. Because I know they have a whole bunch of other stuff coming out, but like specifically like the Marvel shows. I think some of those were either like almost done or like just halfway. And so none of that's coming out because with the whole next stage in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they're going to have these shows be in the same universe as the movies, which they were supposed to be doing that before, but all the shows that they had out, like none of those connected. And now I heard that was some behind the scenes drama. Like the guy who was in charge of those shows fell out with Kevin Feige, and he was like, what?
Fuck.
You don't matter. And then so now all the shows that they're gonna have on Disney Plus, those shows are going to take place in the same universe. And so the issue is that a lot of those shows are already linked to movies, and so they can't come out until those movies
These come
are
out.
filmed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like
There's a
WandaVision,
pickle.
which is the main one that I want to see. That takes place right before Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is the main movie that's coming out that I want to see. And so from what I've heard, I think that WandaVision is mostly done, but they can't release it until they start working on that movie.
Fuck.
Because that happened, whatever happens in the show is what's happening right before that movie comes out. Because like Wanda is gonna be in that movie, she's gonna be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Shit.
So they can't put those out until it goes. And then I don't know what's connected to Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's the first one I think that's coming out.
Damn.
And they had just started filming the Loki one. I don't know
Are
if
you
that's connected to,
serious?
but they had just started, like right before they had just started. I seen a couple of set photos. They had that little like snippet. They had like a trailer, but it was a trailer that showed clips from like all of those shows.
Oh, okay.
For Disney Plus, Marvel, and they already had a clip in there. Which funny, somebody one of the videos I watched, the lady was saying that they're stealing from Umbrella Academy.
Really?
Which I understand why she's saying that, because in the Loki show, it looks like he's gonna be working for, what is it, the Time something? I forget what the letters are, but it's pretty much just like because you seen the Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 5, that company that he worked with that does the time like cleaning up or whatever.
Yeah.
If Loki's pretty much gonna be doing that.
Oh, one of the biggest takeaways from Umbrella Academy is to me, is Dolores. The mannequin. That shit was so fucking random. Like, whenever I think of Umbrella
it was
Academy,
a whole love story.
I'm just like, the one with the fucking mannequin, right?
That's all. There was a whole lot.
No, there was a whole lot. No, I know
had-
there's a lot. A lot of shit happened. Like, the
they had a
violin
robot
thing.
mom,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, my question is, okay, they had all of these children were born on that same day, and then it's like all of the kids in the Umbrella Academy have powers.
Yeah.
So that means that there's a good chance that all of these kids that were born the same way they were born, like miraculously on the same day,
Yeah.
have powers. Where are those kids? Like, you would think that some of those would be superheroes and some would be villains, you know, because that's what always happens. Because it's like the movie Chronicle.
Yeah.
When someone has powers, like, it always evens out. Like, someone is going to become the hero and someone's going to become the villain.
Yeah. That's funny. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that you bring that up because Carlos and I had just been watching The Grudge, right? We were watching it, and all of a sudden, like, have you seen the new Grudge? Okay, so the new one is pretty much based on the Japanese version, and in that one, the house itself is cursed. They called it Grudge, and I looked it up because, like, it didn't make sense why they called it Grudge. But anyway, you go there, and the guy says, whoever enters that house, anybody that enters that house, comes up and they get grudged as well. But they only focus on, like, one lady. But when I think about it, I'm like, when the people were murdered, there had to be forensic officers, there had to be police officers, there had to be all these people. Yeah. I'm like, are you telling me that none of these people got grudged except for this one lady? Like, what the fuck?
But how is that different from the old one? I thought the old one was based off of the Japanese one.
You know what? I don't remember the first ones. I have to rewatch the first Grudge.
Because it was the one girl, and she was on in there, and she was the one that was, like, having the issues. And then, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a long time, because I didn't really like the Grudge movies.
Yeah.
But I know at some point, I think her sister also went in there, and it happened. I can't remember which one of them went in first.
Yeah, no.
Because I think the sister's ghost ended up in that house, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, because...
Or somebody's.
Yeah, because I think in The Grudge, like, everyone who dies, their bodies, like, their ghosts all stay together. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember the first Grudge, but I do always get it confused with The Ring. I don't know why. I just always get them confused.
They're similar because I didn't really like The Ring either.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I didn't like
They're
The Ring
similar.
either.
You know what's funny? I was just telling somebody about that one because that one scared me so much as a kid. And then on top of that, like, my mom had it on. She bought it on DVD, and that's how we watched it, right?
Fucking way.
And the DVD on the special features, they have the video, the tape that you're not supposed to watch. And I remember my mom accidentally clicked it and we all started to panic. And my mom
is not good. Real.
My mom is not good in an emergency situation because we were panicking, she started panicking.
That's me.
And so I had my eyes closed, and then I pretty much had to get the remote from her to stop it without looking. Luckily, I memorized where those buttons were on that remote. Ouch. Girl, we was freaking out.
I'm over here freaking out for you. I'm reliving it through you. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I could not.
Because that I don't remember there being that many special features on there. I feel like that was the only special feature on that DVD was the video.
I don't remember.
But you could watch it.
Yeah.
You could watch the video.
But I don't know. I always get those two confused. And like you said, I didn't like either one of them. But like you said, they still scared me like when I thought about it. But rewatching it as an adult, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like The Exorcist.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched those as an adult at all.
Okay, because I rewatched The Exorcist a few weeks ago, Kim. And the part where she jumps up, and the priest is there and then she fucking bitch slaps him. I was like, pa! No, wait, I don't think it was the priest. I think it was a psychiatrist. She just jumps up on the bed and she just like fucking slaps him. It's just like, did y'all just witness this? Like, what the fuck do we do with this child? It was funny. But for me,
Yeah, I've seen that, but it's been a long time since I've seen The Exorcist. But I know I've re-seen that.
no, yeah, but it's just funny. Some of the stuff is just kind of funny. Some of the stuff is very horrific. Like I'm like, oh my god, how like that was not okay. Who thought it was gonna be okay to put this in a movie? But then there were other parts where it was just ridiculous and over the top that I just couldn't help but laugh. Like,
Yeah, but and then the thing is, people were so afraid of that movie.
yeah.
That the girl she tried to continue acting.
Oh yeah.
And people were afraid of her, so they like didn't want her around.
And
because of that.
Yeah, and actually 6 months after that, that whole movie was made, I guess the production company had to get security guards for her because she was getting death threats, like fucking death threats to the max, and it's just like, y'all, she's only like fucking, how old was she, like 8 or 9? I'm all like, relax.
She was older than that. I think she was like
Reagan?
10, 12 or something.
Oh, really? I don't know. But still, like, it's still a fucking child, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know. People just, that's the thing, though. I think in a lot of horror movies, people become uncomfortable with the child who plays in it. But at the same time, a lot of horror movies star children.
yeah. Maybe it's supposed to symbolize us to be afraid to have children because look at what we can create. I don't know. But
some of these people's kids, yeah.
I know.
Very iffy.
I be looking at like, oh my god.
But yeah, all right.
All right.
Let's go. All right. Welcome to Item 9 Podcast. This is Kim.
And Hyra.
So this week is my week. I was telling Hyra the topic that we're doing today. I've mentioned to her before. I've probably mentioned to several other people too, because it's something that's like, it's a lot to digest. But at the same time, there's like hardly any
Info
on it.
Yeah.
So we just gonna work with what I got and then talk about it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So this week I'm gonna talk about the celebrity paradox.
I have never even heard, like, when you told me about this topic, I was like, it could be so many things, and everything but this word, these two words, came into my head. So
The celebrity paradox.
tell me.
Well, this is the thing. So, hold on, let me get my notes together. So let me read you, like the definition.
Okay.
Like I'm reading this off of a website, the definition, because I wouldn't know how to explain it.
All right, cool.
So a celebrity paradox describes the complications that arise from creating a fictional universe in which that fictional universe does not exist, and the actors playing those roles within it do not exist either.
Oh my god, I can't believe we were just legitly talking about this. Oh my god.
Yeah, so an example for people who are like, what does that mean? So in like the Terminator movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger does not exist. Because we like, he's a celebrity, like we know what he looks like. And so him walking around being a robot, people would recognize him.
It's a Terminator.
If he exists. Yeah, if he existed. And so you have to, in your mind, you have to be like, in the universe of the Terminator movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger does not exist.
I can't even.
The same thing as in Batman movies. So like Batman comic books. And like, okay, so like the last trilogy that we had, like Christian Bale, they don't exist in that universe.
Sure don't. That's crazy. Kim, you know I am so infamous of being like, I don't know that person's name, but that's freaking, you know, like, it's the term, like, I always call him Terminator. Like, I just can't disassociate him.
Yeah, because, like, here, like, we live in California, and he was our governor for a while.
Yeah, the Governator.
Like, yeah. And so in, you know, the Terminator universe, say, you know, what do they call it? I forget what they call it in Terminator. You know, when everything goes to crap and the machines take over.
The apocalypse?
No, they don't call it the apocalypse. I forget what they call it. Because there's a name for it.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be like Y2K thing?
I want to say, I feel like the Y2K thing, it came from that. Because
okay.
The first one was like from the 80s, right?
I don't remember the year. I just remember watching these and being like,
yeah. But, so I had talked about this because, which we'll get to it later, because American Horror Story. Well, I guess we could talk about it now.
Okay.
The funny thing is, all of the articles that I've seen, none of them mention this because I feel like this is like a subcategory of it. Because like, if you're someone who watches American Horror Story,
Mm-hmm.
you know, every season is a new like theme or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they use the same actors a lot.
Yeah.
Like even big roles, small roles, like they mix them around.
Yep.
But they use a lot of the same actors. And then like on a side note, the people who create American Horror Story also have, you know, that American Crime Story.
Oh.
So they which they only had the 2 seasons. They had the O.J. Simpson one, and then they had the assassination of Gianni Versace. They use some of the same actors there in there, and then also it's the same people who created Glee.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So they use some of those same actors too. I'm surprised more people from Glee aren't showing up, but that's not here nor there. But yeah, so specifically American Horror Story. In American Horror Story, sometimes seasons connect. Like they take place in the same universe, which people had wondered before, but now like flat out, especially like after you watch Apocalypse. In Apocalypse, they connect a whole bunch of the seasons together.
Verified.
And so the issue is that like characters meet each other, but it's like sometimes those characters are played by the same character, like the same actor. So like in Apocalypse, some of the witches go to like the murder house from season 1.
Really?
And then they interact with, you know, ghosts there, but like specifically, okay, the daughter, I forgot the names.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it'd be so many.
We
The
just
daughter
remember
from the
them now.
family that moved there. She's also, you know, one of the witches. Like the same actress is one of the witches. So
No
it's like
way.
when, cause what was it? I remember it was Emma Roberts' character. When she goes there, it doesn't dawn on her like, oh, this teenage girl's ghost looks just like my friend, who is a witch who lives with me at what was the name of their house?
Oh shit.
I forgot. It was like a French name. But yeah, like, but they never acknowledge the fact that these characters look similar. And then it's like, okay, in Apocalypse they had Sarah Paulson played like 3 different characters that season. And so it's like, and nobody ever says it. And then it's like people interacted with multiples of those, and nobody ever says she looks like it. And then within the universe of American Horror Story, she also plays like a Barbara Walteri like character from like in Asylum. Because remember that was before. So in Asylum, remember she got locked up in there, and then she, you know, breaks out and she escapes, you know, Bloody Face. And then, you know, later she, you know, from writing a book or something about it, she becomes like a huge sensation, and she becomes like a talk show host. And then in a couple of different seasons, that character, the talk show host character, the character that she was in Asylum, shows up and like interviews.
No way. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I'm like, that is American Horror Story specifically is definitely a subcategory to the celebrity paradox. But like, I feel like in the opposite way, like, I don't know, it's weird that they don't acknowledge that none of these characters look similar.
Yeah.
Especially when characters meet characters from different seasons, you know?
No, yeah, definitely.
It is very confusing because I'm trying to think of in Apocalypse she plays, you know, the witch, where she becomes the head one after her mom dies. And then she also plays the lady who's like in charge of the I don't know, their little like society that they have like in the bunker.
Okay. Sorry.
And then
I think I got your name. Ms. Robinach's Academy for Exceptional Young Ladies.
Robin, was it Robideau or Robino?
It's like you said, French. It's like ROBICHAUX.
Robichaux?
Maybe. You probably
I
understand better
obviously
than me.
need to rewatch American Horror Story. But yeah, so she plays her, she plays the lady that's in charge, and then she plays another character. I can't remember, because I remember she played 3.
Really?
In
Fuck.
Apocalypse. I just can't remember.
Like, I just stopped watching at Coven. Like, I didn't even finish Coven. So, like, when you're naming all these things, like, no fucking way, this is all gonna connect at the end.
Man, but Coven is the best one. For my
Perspective.
opinion. Because, like, everybody has their own opinion on which ones they like the most. Because, like, I like Asylum the least amount.
See, and that's the thing.
But then
I love Asylum.
there are people who, there are people who like that
Yeah.
one the most. And then it's like, I like, what is that one? The one with, David Croatoan. Which one is that
Oh,
one?
the Ragnarok one?
No, they
No,
don't
no,
have
no.
Ragnarok one.
I don't know. Yeah, you said Croatoan. I don't know why I always get these fucking confused. The Croatoan one, right?
You said you wanted to do an episode on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I meant the Croatoa.
What?
The Croatoa thing. You know?
Yeah, Croatoan.
Yeah, the Croatoan
That's
thing.
the word. Yeah, that was found.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know when in my life I started confusing those two words.
Roanoke.
Roanoke. Roanoke.
I really like that one too.
Mm-hmm.
But some people do not like that one. Like, I remember when it was out on TV, because I always end up watching them, like, either when some of the season is up, or, like, when the whole thing is done, and I just binge it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that one, I watched it, and I liked it. I don't know. It got weird towards the end, because that one, they talk about, it gets a lot, maybe that's why people don't like it, because it's a lot to follow.
Yeah.
So, like, half of the show, it's like one of those, like how we like to watch like Paranormal Witness and stuff.
Oh,
where
yeah.
they have like the person talking, being interviewed, and then they have like the reenactment.
You know, I love me some of that.
So they have some of the actors are playing like real people, and then some of them are playing the actors playing them.
Yeah.
And then like the second part of the show of that season, they're like, okay, like for like a sequel, they're doing like a reality show where they're gonna have the real people, so the real husband and wife that were harassed in the house by ghosts, which did not make sense to me, because if that happened to me, I would never go back.
Yeah.
Especially under the blood moon, because that was the whole thing. Like, all the bad stuff started really happening under the blood moon.
God.
And so they go back, like, to record them in the house under the blood moon. Plus, they have all the actors who played them, plus the other characters on the show also there.
Jeez.
And then there's this whole thing where, like, the real lady had, like, either dated or went out on a date with the guy who was playing her husband on the show. And then, you know, they're all in that house together and everybody's judging her.
Oh, fuck.
And, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh, shit.
But, and then so now they got new set of actors playing the real ghosts.
No way. Oh my God, I can't.
Because, of course, they get terrorized by the ghosts again because it's the blood moon and they're in the house.
Wow.
So, that one was a lot, and I really like that
Yeah.
one. I really like Apocalypse, because, you know, Apocalypse, they went to the murder house, they went through Coven, they went to Hotel, which you know what, actually, I think Hotel is my least favorite.
Hotel?
Like, I think it's Hotel is the worst one for me, and then Asylum is right above that. Because Hotel is so boring, and it took me forever. Like, I had stopped watching American Horror Story because of that season, and then one day, like, I think I skipped it, and then one day I just went back and was like, let me just go on and finish this. That one was so boring, like,
that sucks.
So boring. But yeah, they go through Apocalypse. They go shoot through a whole bunch of them. Yeah, they go through Murder House, which, you know, they actually go to the murder house, and then they, you know, it's the witches, so they have the Coven. But then I thought it was a cool addition that they had male witches show up, and then you find out, like, they're kind of like like literally underground, but then at the same time, like, they're one in hiding because at Miss Robichaux's, you know, they went public.
Yeah.
And so now they have a whole bunch of girls there, like, you know, they fixed up the school.
Yeah.
But then and then, I don't know, the guys are less powerful, and they were threatened, and they're supposed to be this prophecy where, you know, a
boy comes and saves them all.
A boy comes, yeah, and he's more powerful than any of the witches, and he's going to take over or whatever. And so the issue with that is that the boy that shows up that they think is him is literally the spawn of Satan, and it's like a whole mess, and he brings on the apocalypse.
That sucks.
But, yeah, but that one was really fun. 1984 is really fun. That one I would slide up the scale too, because it's like, you know, a slasher movie, all the way down to there being a final girl. Like,
oh shit,
you gotta watch. I mean, if you stopped at Coven, like,
yeah.
you have a whole bunch of seasons to watch.
Yeah, I just stopped there. After that, either I started school or something because I was watching them.
Honestly, if I was you, if you decide to get back into it, I would restart Coven from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do anyway.
And then shoot through that, and then, watch Freak Show, and then just go down the line.
All right.
But yeah, because I think, like, if I rated them, I'd probably put, like, Coven first, and, like, Murder House, then Apocalypse, probably, Roanoke. I don't know, Cult was weird, too.
I didn't even know they had one called Cult.
Yeah, that's before Apocalypse.
Oh, shit.
Cult. Yeah, well, that one, they were like, capitalizing on the fact that people were very upset and uncomfortable with Trump being elected, so they do the whole thing about, like, but then it just gets crazy and crazy with, like, a literal, like, cult gets formed and people are being murdered, like.
That is.
But yeah, it
crazy.
stems from that. Like, it starts in the beginning is literally like the election, and then people freaking out about that. So I don't know, but
I forget you're over here. Like, I keep looking, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like, Hyra changed her setup, and for some reason now the camera that I see is the side of her face.
All she sees is my 3 chins. Let's go.
So I'm talking to the side of her face because, we FaceTime when we record.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me give you some. Okay, so the whole thing, like, I know we went a little bit off subject talking about American Horror Story. But it's funny. Okay, so like I said, I had talked about this before to a couple of people because I know I talked about it to you, and I just be unsolicitedly talking to my coworkers about stuff, and just be having them thinking. And I had talked to one of my coworkers, and he's never seen American Horror Story, like, ever. And I was telling him, like, about how, like, they have the same actors playing, every season, but they be playing different characters.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, a lot to take in because it's funny because, like, we were talking about, like, sometimes these characters from different seasons interact, but they never talk about how, like, you look like this person.
You know what? Yeah, please keep going.
Yeah, so I didn't know there was a name for it, and then the other day I happened to see, because I have, like, the BuzzFeed app, because I be like, sometimes I look at the articles, but most of the time I be looking at the shopping list that they put on there of, like, cool stuff to buy. But this article popped up called "Celebrity Paradoxes Are an Absolute Head Wreck, and I insist you check out these 21 weird examples."
Oh shit.
And so I looked at it, I was like, what is that? And so I guess they had made, like, a quiz or something, because BuzzFeed be making them quizzes all the time. A quiz about it, and the reason why that quiz completely missed me is because it's about Friends, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I don't like Friends. I don't think it's funny. I haven't seen a whole episode. Like, I know one time I was at your house, it was playing.
Yeah.
And I know at least 2 episodes rolled by, but I think I was on my phone. Like, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't watch it all the time either, but if it's on, I'll watch it. Like, would I be like, let's binge watch Friends? No. But if I'm bored, I ain't got nothing to do, and it's on TV, like, I'll watch it.
Yeah, so I don't like Friends, but Friends has a lot of examples of the celebrity paradox, and so they list a few on here. So let me give you an example. So I guess in season 3, Chandler creates a freebie list, and he includes Jessica Rabbit. Later in season 7, Chandler's father is played by, I think it was supposed to say Chandler's mother on here, because I'm, like, reading this off of the article. It's played by Kathleen Turner, who is the voice of Jessica Rabbit.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so this happens a lot where on Friends they'll mention, like, an actual actor or actress, and then later that actor or actress plays a character on the show, and they never notice. So I guess this also includes Elle Macpherson, Winona Ryder. They're both on. They're both mentioned. I guess by Ross and Chandler, and then later those two women show up on the show, the two actresses, as characters, but no one says anything about the fact that they look like those actresses. And then also, I guess Susan Sarandon too is also mentioned, and then later she comes in and she plays as a character. And so that's the that's like the confusing part, because it's like, if you know who like Susan Sarandon is,
Yeah.
like, why isn't it recognized
Yeah.
when she shows up, like playing someone else?
No, you're right. You know what? That's hilarious. Like, that's crazy. Like, they don't. But you know what? I saw. Okay, yeah, continue. I never noticed, but Curb Your Enthusiasm does something. Well, I guess I'll just tell you then. They do something similar. Like, there's an episode where, fucking. God, I don't know their fucking names. But the main character guy, for some reason, he ends up needing a lawyer or something like that. And this guy is a really, really big fan of the lady from, Seinfeld.
Okay.
That lady. And so he's pretty much like, I want to meet her. So when he does meet her, like, you know, he recognizes her. But it's funny, like, I wonder, like, if they wouldn't have been able to meet or something like that, and she plays a different character, I wonder if he'd be like, hey, you know, or maybe he wouldn't even recognize it. He just walked by like it was a regular day and he never knew that he met her or something like that.
Probably, because that's how they be treating it.
Yeah.
They be treating it like this person has a different face than what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's...
So, like, another example is, okay, in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Maddie, who's played by Ashley Tisdale, auditions for the role of Sharpay in High School Musical.
Okay.
If you've watched High School Musical, the same actress, Ashley Tisdale, plays Sharpay.
Really?
In the movie, so she's pretty much auditioning to play a character that she plays in real life. And
nobody's like, hey, you know, you look like this lady.
You look like Sharpay, so you should get the role just based off the fact that you look like her.
You're like, bitch, you're not gonna get the role. I am.
Man. Because, yeah, those characters are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't watch it, like, a lot of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but Maddie is, like, smart, she hard work, she works at the hotel that they live at. She's, you know, the smart one, but then Sharpay is, like, very pink, very, like, diva, like, everybody's gonna listen to what I say, I'm playing the lead role in the musical or whatever, and that's the, like, you know, the main conflict in High School Musical 1 is that her and her twin brother, which they don't say, I don't remember them saying that they're twins. I feel like you have to use your context clues, the fact that her and her brother. But then it's weird because it's like they always get the two leads. And so if it's like a romantic lead, then it's just her and her twin brother doing a romantic lead. Because the role that they're auditioning for in the movie, it's two romantic leads. And so that's like the whole issue is that like Gabriella and Troy, you know, they meet at like a party at a hotel or something
Yeah.
It's a New Year's party, and then they're having like all the teenagers are like in some like room, and they're having a party, and they're doing like karaoke, and they both get pushed onto stage, and they do a duet together. And then later, Gabriella is the new girl at the school, and then there's a musical, and then Troy, who is, you know, the lead, he is the basketball player at the school. His dad is the coach. Like, they both decide to audition. And then they get the roles, and then it's like a whole thing because Sharpay and her twin brother Ryan are also auditioning for the roles, and it's like a whole thing.
That's
it's
crazy.
A whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, because Hyra, she didn't watch a lot of Disney Channel as a kid.
I did not,
and she's also not into musicals, so she ain't seen High School Musical 1, 2, or 3.
Sorry,
she ain't seen them. She ain't seen no Cheetah Girls.
No.
Like, she ain't seen none of that.
I'm sorry. I have failed you, society.
But no, because I don't know, a lot of times Disney musicals be having bops. Like, you don't even know. Like, the Cheetah Girls, especially number 1. Like, we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Friends, about Cinderella. That's the jam. Like.
Is the one is like, I don't want to be no Cinderella.
Yes. you gotta just watch it just once. Like me, okay, this is after our generation. They have those Descendants movies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
My niece likes them. And, you know, I recognize the character because you see them all the time. And it's like I know what the base of the story is, but I had never seen them. And I watched the first one, the other day on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, it's okay. Like, I like the concept and everything. Like, it's cute where it's the villains and they got them all trapped on the island. And then, but what didn't make sense to me is that the boy who was in high school is being coordinated as the king, and but his parents are both still alive. I don't know.
He took over, you know.
It was weird. It's like it was being passed down to him, but he's not an adult. Like, I don't know. It's a whole thing, and then it's like their whole turmoil where they don't want to be bad anymore. But we off subject again.
Sorry.
Another example. Okay, in Gilmore Girls, Lorelai and Rory, this is another show I've never seen.
Same, me neither.
I guess they reference Dirty Dancing a lot in the show. But then I guess Lorelai, who's the mom, her mom on the show is played by the same lady who's the mom in Dirty Dancing.
Really?
And they don't ever say anything.
I could not we're pretending that this universe is real. So I'm like, if that was really me, I'd be like, you know what, Mom? Don't you think it's fucking weird that you kind of look like that lady, or like something like that? And be like, ha ha ha. People always tell me that, but I never see it. Something stupid like that. But they don't even do it.
Here's the thing, though. In my mind, what I think is it's the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing.
Oh, I love that.
So
movie.
you know how, what's Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name? Is it Rick Dalton?
Rick Dalton, yeah. Rick Dalton.
Okay, so you know how in that movie, the fact that he is a person in this universe and he's, a famous actor, there are shows and movies in there that have changed. So if you look in the background and stuff, there are movies that are real movies, but sometimes the actors and actresses are different than they are in our universe. Girl, you watch this movie way more than me and you didn't know. We gotta watch it again.
We do. I love that. But Kim, I tell you, I'm like a fucking goldfish.
If it's on like Amazon or something, because we can like watch it together or something.
Like I told you, I'm a fucking goldfish. Like I'll watch it and I'll always be amazed. Like a virgin.
I don't know, y'all. It's crazy. Like me, I can watch something once and I can literally tell you the entire plot. After I just watch it, Hyra will be like, that happened? And I'm like, you just watched it. You just watched this.
But you know what?
And she'll be like, I don't remember that at all.
I like, in my head, to make myself feel better, I like to say that I like to keep very important life and death things in my head. Keep those. And, watch all this pleasant, entertaining stuff. Let it go in and out. Let my mind rest for a second.
So if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, in that, like, events change. So the big thing of the movie is that you're leading up to like the Manson murders, and so Sharon Tate is a character. She lives right next door to him.
Yeah,
he moves in the house next door to her, and dang, what was her husband's name again?
He's the guy who fucking made Rosemary's Baby. Fuck. What is his name?
It was like literally on the edge of my brain,
Girl.
and I just lost it.
Girl.
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski.
Because remember, he murdered somebody years later.
Yep.
But okay. So she's a character. They live next door. Like Rick, he moves next door to them. But he doesn't like meet them. Like he never sees them really.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what ends up happening is because he's implanted in this universe, things are different. And so the Manson killings change.
Yeah.
So instead of them going in there and murdering her and all her friends and stuff,
they rewrote time.
On their way to them, because they were gonna go there, that he's walking his friend's dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So because like his best friend is a stunt man, and they just come from like Italy or whatever, making movies.
It was their last movie.
And it was going to be their last time kicking it or something, like, for a while. And so the friend was spending the night at his house, and I think he walked his dog real quick because they were both, like, really drunk. And then so when he
and that guy took LSD too, remember?
Yeah. And so he passed the car that had, the people from the Manson killings. And so since they saw him, they're like, oh, isn't that, what's his name? Blah, 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 blah. He must live here. And so they go to his house instead of going to Sharon Tate's next door.
Yeah.
And so the whole universe changes just because he's inserted in there.
Yep.
And so they go to his house, and it's very different. I'm not gonna ruin the movie,
yeah.
but it's very different on what happens.
We should put a
when
thing
they
at the
go
beginning of this movie, like if you have.
A
Did I say the
disclaimer.
beginning of this movie? At the beginning of this episode, like spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And we need to time it because I'm not trying to hear it.
Yeah, I try to like tiptoe around
Yeah, but we
the
couldn't.
facts when I tell people about stuff, unless they ask me like, "Oh, tell me what happened." I'm
I
like,
know.
"All right."
But it's
Some
me.
people don't care about
Yeah.
stuff being ruined.
Yeah.
Me, it depends on what it is. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh no, just tell me," and other times I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna check it out myself."
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the way I'm taking it. How this celebrity paradox works.
Mm-hmm.
That in these universes, because there's this change, these characters that we have, in there, our main characters,
Mm-hmm.
that everything around is either different or it's tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
So like the definition said, like the example, it's like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the fact that he, is the Terminator
Mm-hmm.
and he's this robot, Arnold Schwarzenegger does not exist. Because in reality, it's like, some movies and stuff, like, I'm pretty sure loads of you guys will come up with examples of when they both do. But a lot of times when movies do that, they do it as a joke
Yeah.
to show that these both exist. Or sometimes people will tell the main character, you look like so-and-so when it is so-and-so.
Yeah.
Those are like jokes and Easter eggs and whatnot.
Yeah. And those are the ones that I love because, as an audience member, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking the same too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I want to say Lou Ferrigno is in the first Hulk movie.
No, yeah, you're right.
And
You're right.
he used to play the Incredible Hulk on the TV show.
I totally forgot
And so
all
it's
about
like-
that.
So it's
Yeah.
like a cameo, like Easter egg, joke implanted in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like all the
Like-
fucking Marvel ones with the old what's his name? The guy who created Marvel.
Oh, Stan Lee.
Yeah, when they put him in all those little mini cameos.
But yeah, that's different. So the thing about
Mm.
superhero movies is, like when I was saying about Batman, I think
Mhm.
unless they show him, which is a whole nother weird thing that they show him,
Uh-huh.
those comic books don't exist in those universes. So like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with the amount of characters that we have,
Uh-huh.
none of their comic books exist. Because
You're
comic
right.
books most definitely exist because
Yeah.
they take place in a modern time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no Iron Man comics, there's
Yeah.
no Hulk
Yeah.
comics, there's no Scarlet Witch comics, there's
Mhm.
no X-Men comics, like none
Mhm.
of that exists in the universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've talked about this before like loads
Yeah.
of times, but I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah.
I did not know it had a name because like on the BuzzFeed article they list a whole bunch of other examples, like in Glee,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a lot of special guests and guest stars in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes they play themselves, and a lot of times they don't.
Mhm.
But at the same time, a lot of times they've sung those people's songs if they're like a singer or something.
Yeah.
They've sung their songs. Like I know they've done like Demi Lovato songs, and then like in later seasons she showed up and she had a reoccurring character for a little while. Like
Yeah. No, you're right. That's crazy.
because there was another one about music. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Fast and the Furious. So in the first one,
Mm-hmm.
I think Paul Walker goes to a party.
Uh-huh.
And they're playing a Ludacris song. And then
Get out the
Too
way.
Fast, Too Furious, Ludacris is an actual character. Like,
Yeah.
he plays a character in there. So it's like, does Ludacris also exist? Like, obviously, Ludacris also exists in that universe somehow, but no one says anything about the mechanic guy that's also, handling the races, looks exactly
You
like
like
him.
Ludacris.
And then also, they led into the fact that the girl who, in Hobbs and Shaw,
Mhm.
they mentioned Game of Thrones, right?
Yep.
But then, Hobbs and Shaw is a spinoff of Fast and the Furious. And so in one of the last Fast and the Furious movies,
Mhm.
the girl who plays Missandei in Game of Thrones plays like a hacker in the Fast and the Furious
I
movie.
think you're
in one
right.
of them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you didn't notice? Like, 'cause specifically The Rock's character,
Uh-huh.
because he was the one that was talking about it, because I think his daughter wanted to watch it. She's seen some episodes, and he was like, you're not supposed to be watching that or whatever.
Yeah.
But then he's the person who hired the hacker
And he
in
didn't
the Fast
say
and the Furious
nothing.
movie. Didn't know that she looks the same. And then that going back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I remember somebody had mentioned this, or I read something like way before about it, where Thor, which jokes on you if you ain't seen Endgame yet, because Thor, he has his whole like breakdown, and he gains a whole bunch of weight, and he's fat, and he's also just kind of like laid back, chilling. Plus his whole beard and the hair thing, and then when they're getting their time heist together, Tony walks past him and he says something about like move out the way, Lebowski or something. But then it's like Jeff Bridges plays Star-Lord's dad.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Bridges, plays the dude in the Big Lebowski, the main character. So it's like
that's one of my favorite things from Endgame. Like as soon as they brought up that Big Lebowski like little tidbit, I was like,
because he definitely like in my mind I was like, he definitely looks like the dude the way he is right now. And then here comes Tony Stark mentioning it.
But you know what? The dude abides,
But then I guess they also mention other like time machine movies, including Hot Tub Time Machine. But then Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier, is in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Wow.
And then they also mentioned Star Wars, because whatchamacallit, Peter Parker be making these references, but then he be acting like this stuff is old.
Oh yeah, I would be like, you know what, be quiet.
He mentions Star Wars, and then Samuel L. Jackson, who plays Nick Fury, also plays in the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
Like, so that means these actors exist. They exist in this universe where these superheroes look like them.
Yep. They found their doppelganger.
Nobody ever says anything. And then I guess I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I remember I used to really like it. It's a British movie called About a Boy. And in that movie, the boy, in the beginning he does a monologue about wanting to be like the kid from The Sixth Sense. Who is Haley Joel Osment. And in The Sixth Sense, the little boy's mom is played by the same lady who's playing his mom in that movie.
What? That's hilarious. Do they do these
Toni
on
Collette.
purpose, I wonder? Sometimes I wonder if it's on purpose.
This movie came out, I think this movie came out in the 90s too.
I don't know.
So I think it's just, accidental. They just happened to use the same actress. But then, I don't think they thought about it when they were coming up with the dialogue that... Yeah. Because they probably had already wrote it before they end up accidentally casting the actress who plays the mom in that movie too.
That's hilarious. Like the chances though. That's pretty awesome.
And then another example in Fight Club, Marla and the narrator are outside a movie theater, and it's playing a movie called 7 Years in Tibet. And guess who stars who's in 7 Years in Tibet?
Who?
Brad Pitt, who is also
Brad Pitt
in Fight Club.
Brad Pitt. No way. That is hilarious. And then it's just like, I don't know, if you think too hard on it, you're just like, what is going on? But it's just like a funny, like, coincidental thing that happens in movies and shows and stuff. Yeah.
Also in Hero, he is a Star Trek fan, in the show, but then turn around, his dad is literally played by George Takei.
What? What? Yes. I can't even.
Mr. Sulu is his dad. And he doesn't notice his dad looks exactly like this guy from the show that he really likes.
Oh my god. Like, kismet. That's all I can say. That's fucking crazy. Like, wow.
Yep. And then I haven't seen, what is that? The Amazing Kimmy Schmidt or something like that.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
I haven't seen that one either. But I guess, I know a teeny bit, I guess she was, like, in some cult or whatever, so she came out, and then now she's, like, super upbeat about stuff because she's learning about, the real world.
Yeah. But
I guess she likes Friends.
The show?
But then her mom is played by Lisa Kudrow, who, is Phoebe on Friends.
Holy crap, that's hilarious. They had to do that one on purpose. They did that one on purpose.
I don't think so. I think it was one of those things where they, threw it out there and different actresses was like, I want to do it, and they just chose her. But it's coincidental. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's all I really had to say about that from what I had looked up. It's an interesting thing. Like,
No,
you
yeah,
keep
yeah.
your eye out and watch movies and see stuff. But the things that stood out, because I think the thing that I talked about most
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, the American Horror Story thing, which I feel like it's not exactly it, but it's like a
Yeah.
subcategory of
Mm-hmm.
the celebrity paradox, where you have these characters are meeting characters with the same face, essentially.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's crazy. Like, it's funny because you're mentioning all these, like, you know, obviously I don't know these celebrities by first name basis. I'm just one of those few people. But, like, when you mention
a lot
their
of people
character...
don't be knowing actors and actresses' real names.
That's true. But you know what? I get surprised whenever people look at me and they're like, you don't know their real name? And I'd be like, no, like, I don't. But anyway, like, but when you name the character in the movie, I'll be like, you're right. That person was in that fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy. Well, like
Yeah.
Kim said, if you guys know any of these movies, blow our fucking minds, because we're over here like, what? Like,
Yes,
Let
send
us
us
know.
more examples that you notice, more things that you've noticed that, you know, relate to the celebrity paradox. Remember, you can always reach us on our Item 9 podcast Instagram, the words Item 9 podcast, not the number. And just give us more examples, because it's interesting. It's a lot.
It's crazy.
But it's
yeah.
interesting.
And I know there are a lot of people out there that are like deeper film buffs. So I just cannot wait to see the kind of stuff they're gonna blow your mind away with, so you can blow my mind.
Yeah, I gotta reinterpret it for you.
Yeah, please do.
Because I be trying to pick up, you know, actors and actresses' names and stuff, which is funny, because I remember I had a coworker, and I remember she had told, like, because I just be sharing stuff, like, unsolicited, like, hashtag you're friends with a nerd problem. And I remember, like, I would be telling her about, like, the Marvel movies specifically, right?
Yeah.
The superhero movies. And then she had mentioned to me, like, her boyfriend always tries to get her to watch him or to go see him, but she never wants to watch him. But then I was like, how come you always listen to me when I'm talking about it? And she says that I make them sound more interesting when I talk about them.
That's funny.
And I remember one time I was telling her about something in Marvel, and I mentioned the characters' names. I was like, yeah, and Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, something. And she's like, oh, you know their real names?
I'm like,
And I was like, girl, that's not their real names. Like, that's the character's real names.
I'm invested
Like,
with the
I'm like,
character,
you
not
know-
the person.
Yeah, because I'm like, you know, Tony Stark is Iron Man, but he's played by Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, Steve Rogers is Captain America, but he's played by Chris Evans. And she was like, she was flabbergasted the fact that these superheroes have real names. Like,
That's
they have names.
hilarious.
And I was like, yeah, because, you know, like, Batman is Bruce Wayne, you know.
You know,
Superman likes to go by Clark Kent. Like, they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
names.
you know what's hilarious? Like, you can cut this out, but between you, remember how I did the Amityville last week, right?
Yeah.
So, I watched the interview with Danny, Danny Lutz, and he started saying that when people started seeing him, they started calling him by the characters' names from the movies, and he was just saying, like, it was...
So there was, like, the character that was, like, his equivalent?
Yeah, it's funny because he's getting interviewed by a psychiatrist. He's like, yeah, I went by many names. He starts naming them. She's like, oh, why did you do that? And she was like, oh, because, you know, people come up to me and he's all like, hey, are you that guy from that movie? Like, they named the character. And he's like, yeah, that's me. And people just started calling him by that. And she just started laughing, and she's like, oh, it's funny. I never put those two and two together. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, for me, it's like, I have to play harder to be myself than those other characters. And I'm just like, bro.
At least he's, like, a good sport about it. Because I feel like some people, especially the fact that, you know, there was murders and stuff involved. And for them to figure out which character he's playing, because, you know, they be switching names and stuff around.
Yeah.
And for him to, like, take it, like, as a joke, like, it's not that serious, and just be like, oh, yeah, that's me, instead of him getting an attitude, like, that ain't me. That movie's a sham. Like,
Yeah.
He was a good sport about it.
Yeah. But, you know, he does, like, you know, he did say it took a lot of, like, time to gather himself, you know. It's a hard thing for people to be like, oh, you're that one kid whose finger got smashed from that movie. And for them to just talk about, like, it's whatever. And he actually had to feel that and experience it. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Yeah.
My thing is, I would be trying to look at his hand like,
And you would see
but
that
I'll
little.
try to be discreet. I'll try to be discreet about it.
That's funny.
Like his hand got squished in a window, and then miraculously it was fine.
Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. That paradox, man. Shit.
Mhm.
It's funny.
All right, let me grab these oracle cards. While I'm shuffling these, did you have any gems of the week or anything? Anything fun happen?
Did anything fun happen to me? No, not really. It was fine. I did have a jam that I actually just heard recently, but I was like, how did I forget about this song? Have you ever heard The Letter? Fuck, who's it by?
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta be.
It's like,
specific.
lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby,
Oh,
she wrote me a
just
letter.
wrote me a letter.
Yeah. What is? And she wrote me a letter, and she said she couldn't live without me no more. Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe
That
I forgot this song.
Is good. You gotta look it up, see who sings that song. I don't know. I don't know why that reminds me, because the song doesn't sound like that at all. But you know, there are songs that I listen to and they just make me feel cool. Like I'm in my own movie, and I'm just like, this is like, it's a good soundtrack. And so, you know,
the
damn,
Box
what's the name of that
Tops.
song? Like, no, but it's like, it's an older song too. I think it's by the Zombies. She's Not There.
Oh, she's not there. Let me tell you by the way she looked. The
Yes,
way she.
that one. And then it's the time of the season.
Oh,
Girl.
yes.
You put on It's the time of the season on loud while you walking down the street.
you just be strolling like, bitch, move.
Because who sings that? I think it's the Zombies that sing both of those. I could be wrong though.
I don't know.
Yes.
No, the Box Tops were the ones who made The Letter.
The Letter is by the Box Tops.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. The Zombies sing Time of the Season and She's Not There.
You know what?
Look
Like,
those up.
Zombie, there's just something about their voice and their vibe from that time that I think epitomizes hippie era, and it's just like embodied
Yeah,
in
because
their
they're
music.
another one of those bands that like looks like the Beatles, like they have that same vibe.
Yeah, it's just
But no,
crazy.
okay. And then it's like, if you are a fan of Paranorman.
Oh, I love
I remember,
Paranorman. So good.
Time of the Season was in the trailer, and I think it's in the movie.
No, Paranorman is really good.
We should do like an episode talking about those, because I feel like Paranorman's in this category of movies. That I feel like the weird kids watch, but I'm one of those weird
exactly.
kids, you know?
I don't know. It's like we could connect to it.
Paranorman.
Yeah.
Paranorman, Nightmare Before Christmas, like
Yeah.
Tim Burton movies. He's like category Tim Burton movies.
Yeah.
Like you grew up watching those. You were like a little bit of the weird kid. Like,
but
it's funny. I was just talking about that because one of my coworkers, at my job for Halloween and Christmas, we get Nightmare Before Christmas, like merch and decorations and stuff for both Halloween and both Christmas. And so a lot of people come in and like stock up on those and collect things and stuff, because we also get like pops now too. But then people like the decor.
Yeah.
And one of my coworkers, she one day was like, I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of this because I feel like I want to decorate this for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, have you seen the movie? Because one of the decorations, like it was Oogie Boogie. But it played music, but it played What's This, and Jack sings that song, so I was like, it has the wrong song attached to him.
Yeah.
Like they messed up. And she was like, oh, I didn't know that. And that's when I asked her, like, oh, have you seen Nightmare Before Christmas? And she was like, no, I haven't seen it. And I was like, girl, watch it, it's so good.
Yeah.
And she Halloween rolled by, she still hadn't watched it. Christmas rolled by, she still hasn't watched it. Like, I asked her about it the other day, she still ain't watched it. I was like, girl, it's a good movie, take my recommendation. But yeah, Paranorman, I remember it's the time of the season in the trailer.
Yeah, that's funny. So what about you?
But
Any gem of the weeks? Any fun times to tell us about?
I didn't have a gem of the week. Hyra said that I went on vacation with some of my other friends, and we just like kicked it in Arizona. We went to the Grand Canyon. I had never been there before. I'd also never been out of the state because I don't be going nowhere. So this is my first time like in another state. But yeah, it was fun. We were just like chilling. We Airbnb'd a house and it was a lot of fun. I got to tie-dye. We had a luau. It was fun.
That's
But
fun.
yeah, I don't have a gem of the week because I didn't listen to like nothing new or anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still listening to the Hamilton soundtrack because like I like musicals. I don't see enough, and I would like to, once the pandemic has like leveled out, I guess, when they start to open up like plays and stuff again, I want to start going to see more live plays.
Oh,
and
we're gonna
things,
go
and I'm
watch
gonna start
Phantom of the
looking it up.
Opera. So be ready.
Oh yeah,
we
but
going.
but then I like Phantom of the Opera. The
I
issue
know.
is that if I go to Phantom of the Opera with you, I'm gonna start dragging you to all these other ones. Because like, I know
I will
they have,
go.
like,
I will go.
They have a Mean Girls musical, and I have never seen it, and I would like to watch it. They have one for the Heathers, and I like Heathers. Heathers is like one of those cult movies. Like
I
if
didn't
you
like
see
the
it, you see it.
Heathers. Yeah.
And it's pretty much the '80s version of Mean Girls, kind of. Like, I like Heathers because it's like it starts to kind of off as like an '80s teen movie, and then it like turns to a horror movie at the end.
Yeah.
What else? There's a whole bunch that I want to see that I like know of, but never seen.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start watching live musicals.
You know what? I think I would prefer live musicals than watching them like on the theater. I mean, on theater at the movie theater and or at home.
At home and stuff. Matter of fact, there was a play and I was gonna take you and I was gonna tell you it was well, I don't think it was a musical. It might, it was a musical. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I think about it, but it had what is his name? He plays he plays Professor Xavier in the new X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, from Split.
Yeah, what is his name?
I don't remember his name.
Jumped out of my brain.
And see, that's where I go. Like I remember the character.
Cause it's not Michael Fassbender. Cause that's the guy that plays Magneto. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna be so mad. Cause like I know his name. Cause he's in a whole bunch of stuff.
Split, right?
Cause he's also in like Wanted and.
Oh yeah.
I'm irritated. But yeah, so he had like a play, and I saw like the commercial on, I think Instagram or something. I kept seeing it, and I was like, this looks kind of good. And then I looked, and they were gonna be playing it at Cinemark, but then they were only playing it for one day. I think they only had like 1 or 2 showings, and I couldn't make it at all. If I would have been able to make it, because I think you were like off work at that time, we were gonna go. I don't even remember what it was called. I have to look it up because it looked good. Like it kept showing me that trailer.
No, I know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know.
It's fucking. His name is James McAvoy.
Yes, James McAvoy.
Yeah.
I don't know. My FBI guy that monitors all of the things that I do on my phone and the internet, he knows me. He was like, "No, watch this trailer again when I scroll past." He's like, "No, you like this." He was like, "No, you would like this. Why? Look at this again." Because it kept popping up, and I like finally was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch it."
He's like,
I
"Bitch."
just kept scrolling past.
He's like, "Bitch, I have not sat here for fucking 27 years of my life watching every single goddamn thing you do for me not to know that you're fucking gonna like this one. Fucking watch it." And you're like,
It hasn't
"All right."
even been that
all
long
right.
because I didn't even get a phone until the 9th grade. So until I was like 14.
I like to think that it's
So
a young person watching me. That way it's a little less creepy than thinking of some like old weird dude just like, oh.
Yeah, I assume they're probably like a mid-30s FBI agent,
Yeah.
They're still kind of in the beginning. They haven't like grown their full roots to move on to like the more interesting things.
They can still relate to me just slightly, ever so slightly. Like, all right, bitch, I get it. I'm like, thanks, dude.
Yeah, like when he sent me the leggings with the pockets from Amazon, like, dude, I appreciate you,
Oh man. Follow me next time I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'll be behind me and I'll buy you your coffee.
Yeah, like, okay, I don't know, like I feel like I get along with my FBI guy, but I feel like Hira's FBI
Nah,
guy
fuck
doesn't
that
like
dude.
me because
Yeah,
her
nah.
phone stay tripping when we FaceTime.
No, I just think my
He
FBI
be
guy.
making this weird loud noise, and it only happens when I'm talking to her.
But you know what? It's fucking crazy because I feel like it's been getting worse and worse. So I feel like my FBI guy, either someone needs to go check on him because he's not doing okay. Please go check up on
Oh,
him.
he needs she needs a new one.
Like he's probably at
this
home,
one-
like not not kicking. So please go check on him. If not, he really does not like me, and he wants to make my life difficult because he's just been fucking with all my shit. Sometimes I think him and all the ghosts are in cahoots. I'm like, y'all need to, come on, man.
I was just telling somebody about the fact that your house is haunted.
It's just like,
All right, so this week's oracle card is number 45.
Mhm.
Such a curious dream.
we had that
Grounding,
one.
I think I threw some back into the mix.
No, I feel like we got this one. Fuck, another time where we were talking. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me read it. But yeah, I threw some of the cards back in. I think I'm gonna put the rest of them in. So we might have had this one because I stopped keeping track.
Mhm.
Actually, I don't think so. This one's at the end. This is the last one, so I don't think we had this one. Maybe. Let's read what it says.
Yeah.
So like I said, such a curious dream. Number 45, grounding, returning to reality, coming home. A time when work must be done. Eat well and prepare good meals. Make magic in your everyday activities and ordinary moments. A return from an extraordinary experience, adventure, travel, or holiday. When the time is right, you will encounter Wonderland once again.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
That doesn't sound familiar at all. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a couple of them that have dream in it. But yeah, that didn't sound
Well, like before.
familiar. Matter of, yeah.
Well, yeah. Before we didn't read the meaning explanation. We didn't read the explanations. Before I was just reading the paragraph before, and we were interpreting it from that paragraph. So maybe it's just the wrong. Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you guys again for listening to Item 9 Podcast. This is Hyra.
And Kim.
And remember, you're the bee's knees.
Item 9.
We'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.
Bye.